Hi there, welcome to Cost Accounting. This is my first online cost accounting, so I'm excited. I hope you are too. I have here on the screen the syllabus and also the Brightspace D2L screen. So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough here, kind of get you started. Just contacting me, that is my cell phone there, so you can text, it will come to my smartphone, or you can email me, that also comes to my smartphone. If you're going to send me a visual, my smartphone is not very big, so that's better as an attachment to email. And if it's urgent, you can send me a text saying, please go see your email. I do have campus office hours on Thursdays if that's of interest to you, but don't wait for office hours. Office hours are great for career advice kind of things, but if you are stuck, please let me get you unstuck quickly with a text or an email. So that you can keep moving rather than waiting for office hours. So you need to have passed 2102, excuse me, the managerial in order to be in this class. So hopefully that is already done. I'll let you read the course outcomes and the learning outcomes yourself. We're going to be using MyLab, and that's a Pearson product. And you can get the hard copy book if that's what you would like. But you can, the MyLab has the ebook in it, along with lots of other practice resources. So if you're comfortable with an ebook, you can just buy the MyLab. This little icon here, you can see it here at the top in D2L, and if you click on that, it will take you to the Pearson screen. You'll have to set up an account, and if you don't already have one, and then you have to actually buy the materials. And the instructions are here. There's also an instruction sheet here in D2L. If you click on that, that'll open a document. So either way, you can go ahead and pay for and get your Pearson materials. There's going to be 2 business simulations, Kiefer 1 and 2. I'm still working on those. When they are completed, I'll send you an announcement in D2L, and you can go get them from study.net. I don't know the pricing because they have a markup that changes from time to time, so I'm never quite sure, but it'll be about $15. The announcements are show up here. You can see there's already 2 announcements in here, and so you want to set up your alerts. So you do that by going up here under notifications, and notifications are not course specific, so this will be for whatever course. And then you indicate how you want to be notified, and you can put, you don't have to put your school email, you can put some other email, personal email that perhaps you would like. I like it text to my cell phone, and you can certainly do that as well. You could do both, text and email, or just email. Of course, they both go to the same smartphone for me, so I don't have a go to both, but you certainly can. And that way, when I put the announcements out there that the case is ready to be retrieved, then you'll be notified. So just a quick note about the course behavior. In an online environment, you have to have more initiative than you would in a face-to-face. In a face-to-face, if you show up, that's a great portion of the initiative. But in online, there is no showing up. There's no getting in your car and driving to campus, and then I do the work for an hour and a half, and then you go home. Here, you actually have to initiate all the activities, and when they don't go well, it is your job to let me know or to go get help and not just stop, because nobody knows that you're having a problem except you. In a classroom, I can read the foreheads and figure out, wait a minute, Johnny is completely confused. What I just said made no sense to Johnny. In online, I don't have that. The only way I know that you're in trouble and that you need something is by you self-identifying. And that means you have to start early enough so that if it doesn't go well, you can let me know, and there's still time to do something about it. Now, all the course materials, you can work way ahead. I haven't put a release that it's only released week 2, week 3. You can work in advance, and I would highly suggest you do that, that you stay several weeks ahead, so that if you get into a chapter and you get into trouble, you've got built in some cushion for yourself. That's a very professional way to work, to always give yourself some cushion, because you don't know what disruptions are going to happen. Anytime that it's the first time I do a course, there's going to be some quirks or some things that are not as clear as they need to be. I will fix any points you were robbed of because something wasn't quite right. So no need to get worried about that. I will make it right. I would like you to be more concerned about whether or not you learned than whether or not you got 5 points. So it's okay to care about both. They're not mutually exclusive, but learning should be bigger in your mind than points. Late work. You have a week after the deadline that I'll still accept it, but it's a letter grade 10% deduction for late work, because late work can't ever be excellent, and that's just professional code. Misconduct. I have listed out here when you can get assistance and when you can't, so you know exactly what is allowed and what would be cheating. So I've listed out here. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If you need any accommodations, happy to do that. Just identify one-on-one and we'll work on that. If you have any questions about or feel the need to withdraw, I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Here, the delay of opening or closing the university is not really relevant since it's online, but if there's a power disruption and you lose power or I lose power, then that could make a change to how the course timing is going to occur. So when the power comes back on for me and for you, we'll check and see, and if I have to adjust some deadlines, we'll do that. The school would very much like your feedback at the end of the course, especially any comments you might have. This is an intermediate level course. That means that this author and the assignments presume you remember everything from Accounting 2101 and 2102. Journal entries and managerial and cost per unit budgeting. That's probably not true. I've put some review materials in here for you can get caught up, but if this is really slogging you, part of it might just be that it's been a long time since you learned that material and you're rusty and you may need to get polished up. All right, so the homework in my lab is worth 100 out of the 500 points. You have some quizzes which are in Brightspace. I'm going to show you those in a few minutes. You've got the key for project 1 and 2, 50 points apiece, and then you have a midterm and a final that are both 120. Those are proctored on campus, on the Macon campus. If you are not local, and so you would like to make arrangements to be proctored wherever you are, contact me this week by email and we'll work on that. All right, and so however many points you have out of 500, you can see where you fall in terms of letter grade. There are a few opportunities for bonus points in the course. There's a couple of surveys, and then if you want to do any of the review quizzes to get your foundation skills up, I wish to give you a couple of bonus points to encourage you, if you're rusty on something, to work on that, because it's just going to help everything. So you can take advantage of that. In addition, since this is the first time that I've done this, it's kind of a beta test. So if you do something early and you find a flaw and you allow me to fix it and save everybody some frustration, I will give you a quality control point for that. Or if you have a suggestion that I implement in the course, I will give you a quality control bonus point for that. There's a maximum of 10 because I don't want to spend you to spend your time being my editor and finding it. But if you find some things, I am grateful, and your classmates will be grateful, because it'll save everybody from having the same issue that you had. So especially you early birds, thank you in advance for that, and I'll be glad to reward you for the trouble to communicate those to me. All right, if you're near graduation, be sure to do an audit 2 semesters in advance. We make some changes to the syllabus depending on, and definitely since this is the first round, there probably will be some changes to the syllabus. So here's your reminder to set up your alerts. And then there's a to-do list. Now, this to-do list is not all due. Let me fix this here so you can see the dates. They're not all due on August 3rd. This is the week of August 13th. These are the things to accomplish, to watch these lectures and to do this list of things to do. Deadlines are in bold. So there are no specific deadlines in the first week, but there's a deadline on the first day of the second week. So the first day of the second week, you do your homework and your quiz. Time's up for last week's stuff. So the homework from last week is due on the first week of week 2. And the quiz from last week's chapter is due end of the day. All of these due dates end at 11 o'clock at night. And then you start with the next chapter. And then the deadline for that next chapter is the first day of the next week. So you can sort of see there's a little bit of a rhythm. The first 6 chapters have a lot of review. There's a lot of overlap between what you had in Principles 2. The next chapters, though, are new material. So we're going to go a little slower on the new material than we are where there's some overlap. We're working at a slightly higher level of difficulty, but the topics like break even and variable and fixed costs, so the foundational topics you've already seen before. That's not true for some of the later chapters. So you can see that September 17th, you'll be actually doing a walkthrough of the project, and it says URL pending, and that's because I haven't created the video yet to walk you through because I got to finish the project first. So this syllabus will be updated, and there'll be URLs here as I get them done. So this will be a little bit of a living document. You'll have a practice midterm, and I will post that in D2L and send you an announcement when it's ready so that you can self-administer a midterm to yourself prior to coming. All right, and I definitely recommend that you do that. The homework, it looks and feels and is in many ways highly different than the quiz. And the tests, the exams, will be highly different than both of those because I'm not looking for you to parrot back exactly the format of whatever it is you just did. I'm trying to make sure that you're mentally flexible enough to use the concepts in a new situation. So I try to give you as many new situations as possible so you're accustomed to new situations. So it is intentional that these things are all going to look different from each other, and I'm not trying to teach you to do the same thing over and over. So just so you know, and that's part of the intermediate level of difficulty too. When I get rooms for the midterm, I'll announce it. I'll try to have 3 different times on that date. I'll try to have a morning time, an afternoon time, and an evening time so that whatever your work schedule or other commitments are, you can get to one of the proctoring. All right, and then here's the due date for the key for Project 1, some new lectures, and then you can see here the due date for last week's chapter and so forth, so you can sort of get the idea. All right, and you can work ahead, as I said, on any of those. So let's look over here now in D2L. So the course tools, you can look at the quizzes, and quizzes and surveys are all in the same spot. So I haven't fixed the dates on these to coordinate with the syllabus. I'll be doing that tonight and tomorrow. But things like ending survey and LPQ, those take about a minute or 2, and they ask you about your study habits and practices in other classes and that sort of thing. That's nothing to do with cost accounting. If you want to earn 2 bonus points and answer this for me, fantastic. If you don't wish to, just disregard. There'll be a few surveys also at the end of the last 2 weeks of class, and again, they're just asking you about your study habits and that sort of thing, and if you wish to answer those, that'll be fantastic, but it's entirely optional. You see review quizzes here. You do get a bonus point for if you get some right there. So it's not very many points, but I do want to encourage you to review the topics because it will help you when you get to the intermediate level of difficulty. Then when you see Chapter 2, these are the ones that are the main points under the chapter quizzes. So these would be 10 points, not just 1 point, that sort of thing. And each quiz is slightly different number of points. They add up in total to the points on the syllabus, but some of them have more questions on them, so they have a few more points. So they're not exactly all even points. All right, and then let's see what else that I want to show you here. You've got a grade book, and if you set your alerts up that when grades are imported, then you'll get to see those. So, all right. I look forward to the class. Let's get started. Okay.